What's up, my dudes? My name is Schrute, and this is the track review of Ridge Raceway. So we'll say that 10 times fast, dudes. So this track right here is definitely pretty fun. It's got a lot of cool off-camber corners and a lot of really fun straightaways where you're just 6th, 7th gear, just whipping it all the way backwards. So it's got some fun sections like that, and it's got a cool mixture to the track where it feels a lot like a man-made motocross track, but it also feels a lot like a natural motocross track as well. And you'll notice that once you ride on it, it's got a few sections where it looks super man-made, but then it also has the really natural rolling hills kind of vibe to it as well. So it's cool, man. It's got a nice balance to it, and I really enjoyed some of these sections where it kind of breaks up the really long straightaways and stuff, because it really needed that on this track, because there's a lot of just super long, wide open straightaways, really smooth sections and stuff. It kind of reminds me of that real life track called, I think it's called like Florida Tracks and Trails or something like that. If any of you guys know that real life track, it's got a lot of really long, just really man-made looking smooth straightaways and stuff. If and you guys have watched videos on that track or anything, it definitely reminded me of it right here. And this track does have some roughness on it, but a lot of it does feel just super man-made to me, which is cool. I mean, I like both sides of the spectrum, where you've got kind of the man-made type tracks, but you also have the really natural kind of tracks, and it's cool. It's got a nice balance between the two, because I know when you get tracks that are too man-made, they don't feel as good. For instance, if you have just a perfectly flat, plain track with no elevation on it, and then you go in there and just build a motocross track, that's what you call just a straight-up man-made kind of track. But when you add natural elements to it, like hills and valleys and roughness and stuff, that's what makes it start to feel more natural. So, but you can get tracks that are pretty crazy natural that feel almost too natural, if you know what I mean, where you're just like constantly jumping up crazy hills and it almost turns into more of a trail track or something. But so you got to kind of find that balance. But this track right here definitely reminded me of that Florida Track and Trails or whatever it is. So I think that's the name of it anyways. I don't know, I could be totally wrong, but anyways, what I'm saying is it's just got those long, just super smooth straightaways where there's really no limit to how fast you can go. And that's what I'm saying, like, you're probably gonna have to change your gearing a little bit, especially if you're on like a 125, if you're really wanting to get fast laps, because you're gonna have to go pretty much scary fast on some of these straightaway sections to really get that fast lap time, because that's just what it allows. It allows those crazy fast speeds and stuff on it. So that's pretty much how fast you got to go if you're wanting to get some crazy lap time on it. So right here, I don't know, man. That was one crazy case I did. I wasn't really sure if I could jump that all the way, but then I figured out you could take the outside on that corner before and actually hit it all the way. So obviously I have this bike set up for like more supercross style tracks, but it usually works out for motocross as well. But for certain motocross tracks, kind of like this one, it would probably be a little smarter to have more of a top speed kind of gearing than I have right here. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't make as big of a difference for a 450 as it would like a 125, because on this track, a 125, you're just going to be tapped out in 6th gear, not going anywhere, you know. So if you don't have the right gearing going on with it. So but yeah, it does have a slight sand feeling to it, but nothing too deep or crazy. It just feels like a decent kind of mid-traction motocross track. So this finish line is pretty epically small, so be careful on that, because you're probably going to overjump it by about 50 foot the first couple times you hit it. So be careful on that. But you gotta love the flowing elevation of this track, man. It's a chill, fun track. It might seem a little crazy on some of the whips I'm doing and some of the jumps and stuff, but it's really not like a difficult track. I feel like it fits the amateur riders more so than it would like a pro rider, because a pro rider is going to look for more roughness than this track has, because it's honestly too easy in a lot of sections that are perfectly smooth. But I could see where an amateur would just love a track like that. So I feel like it's kind of catered more towards more so the beginner, amateur-ish kind of riders, but so it's lacking a little bit of the roughness in my own personal opinion, but I could see where they just wanted the track to feel more like a smoother kind of vibe, so it all makes sense, but it's definitely nothing to like an RF roughness kind of style or anything like that. So I finally hit that big huck jump right there, so it's pretty gnarly, man, and then the roughness gets crazy right here, but there are a few spots that have roughness, but for the most part it's a fairly smooth track. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just nothing to an RF rough style. So but that's cool to have a variety of tracks. You don't want every track to be like RF roughness, if you know what I mean, or they're just all gonna kind of have that same feeling, and then it's gonna be really stale. So you got to have that variety when it comes to all the different kind of custom tracks and stuff. So as far as the off-track stuff, the trees and everything, I mean, they're okay, but you can definitely tell there's a little bit of I don't know, it's like a little bit of blank spaces here and there, and just the off-track trees are a little, I mean, I've definitely seen better off-track stuff, but I've definitely seen worse off-track stuff too, so it's just right about that mid-range of off-track scenery and stuff. So it doesn't look bad, but it's definitely not the best I've ever seen, so it's kind of got that vibe going on with it. But the standard woodland filling and just kind of the rolling hills theme to the track is pretty cool, so the skybox definitely fits that for sure. So but yeah, some nice rollers right here. I think those are built quite well, and then you got just some standard tabletop triple kind of jumps going on. And the thing about it is if you can't hit the jumps all the way, which you're probably not going to be able to on a 125 unless you're just a legend or something, but you still have plenty of landings to hit even if you don't hit the big jump all the way. So that's what I'm saying. It's not really like a hard track because you have options even if you don't hit it all the way. So this section right here is awesome, dude. I don't even know what you really call this section. It's just a bunch of really cool big doubles that kind of go up a rolling hill. It's amazing, man. I love when people make super unique sections like that where you don't even know what to call them. You're like, this section's cool, but I don't even know what you call it. That's definitely, that's a good sign, man. That's a good thing for me to say in a track review, because that means it's definitely a unique section. So, but some cool floater whippet jumps. Nothing's too big though. I mean, there's definitely nothing unrealistic on this track that I would say at all. It's all pretty small, mellow kind of jumps, but so I mean, there's definitely tracks out there that have bigger jumps and better for just throwing crazy whips and stuff, but this is kind of what I feel like the amateur version of that is. There's a couple of bigger jumps, but it's not too crazy, and you're not constantly jumping either, so it's kind of got that just kind of chill amateur flowing track kind of vibe to it. So it's definitely cool, man. The ruts are not too crazy. They're more of just kind of berm ruts, I like to call them. They're not really ruts. They're more like just little mini berms and stuff, but so it makes it easy to get into them, and you don't really have to be as focused on getting in the exact rut you want to get in and stuff like that. So like I'm saying, it definitely caters to more the amateur style rider. So but yeah, definitely a fun track. So I'm going to give it an 8 overall, and I'm going to say the difficulty is medium. So anyways, I appreciate all you watching these videos, and I'll keep on making them.